Hi everyone, Kevin back for another video. Now this is something different that I have not done before. Is every week I'm going to give my opinions and reviews of movies that I have seen in the cinema this week. So over the last week I've seen 4 movies in the cinema. Just to give you a little bit of background, post-pandemic I was going to the cinema 2-3 times a week minimum. I'm an extremely big movie fan. I also watch a lot of TV shows, so I'll be doing some reviews and some reactions to movies and TV shows. I have seen a very high amount of movies, so if you do want to suggest a movie for me to react to, you've got your work cut out for you, basically. But if you are looking to suggest a reaction to me and you want me to guarantee the reaction, there is a link in the description of this video where you can donate and buy me a coffee, and I will guarantee that I react to your suggestion. So apart from that, if you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment if you want to give any feedback, that would be great. So the first movie that I seen was Nobody. So Nobody is directed by, I think it's Elia Naishuller, if I pronounced that correctly, starring Bob Odenkirk and Connie Nelson, Christopher Lloyd's in it, Michael Ironside. It's a story that we've seen before in movies such as John Wick, Taken. It's the type of, the typical family man has a problem and goes rogue, or his past catches up on him. I was actually a little bit apprehensive going in, not because I don't like Bob Odenkirk. I think Bob Odenkirk is a really great actor. Of course, you know him from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which were two really excellent performances. So when I went to see Nobody, was I expecting much? Not really. And what did I get? This was a tremendous, really fun movie. Bob Odenkirk was perfect for the role. Obviously I don't want to give any spoilers, so I can't really say too much, but you will have a great time watching this movie. Yeah, the plot of the movie isn't anything different, but it's done in a very good way. You are given little subtle hints about his past life, so it's not thrown in your face, it's not made directly obvious to you what's happened in the past and what's happening now. But the thing that stands out the most is the fight scenes. There's one scene that stands out on a bus, which I'll let you see for yourself. It is really great. There's jokes in there as well. There's a funny side to it. Obviously, Bob Odenkirk's a lot of his previous work has been comedic roles, so they bring that to it. It's not over the top, it's not too many jokes, but they throw in enough comedic value just to take your mind off what can be quite a brutal movie. So yeah, real good fun movie. You will really enjoy yourself. I would say the only thing that slightly let it down for me, I say slightly let it down, was some of the characters, especially Bob Odenkirk's family, and there's another character, I won't spoil too much, but he's on the phone a lot to him. I didn't really feel too much for those characters. I wasn't really worried what was going to happen to them, but that doesn't take away from what was a really strong performance and a really good movie, fun movie to watch, so I really recommend it. So I'm going to score Nobody a 7.5 out of 10, so enjoy. So another movie I seen this week was Monster Hunter. So Monster Hunter stars Mia Jokovic. I think the other guy's name is Tony Ya, and Ron Perlman is in this as well. So the movie was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. I only seen this actually today, but it's based on, I guess there's a video game. I think it was Capcom, if I read that correctly. So my thoughts on the movie. Going to see a movie like this in the cinema, you really know what to expect. The CGI will be great. It's an epic watch on the big screen. You know, you've got a giant screen, you've got great sound. From the storyline itself and the performances were just okay. I wasn't blown away by any of the acting. Mia Jovovich is obviously, she does great in the Resident Evil movies and other roles she does, so she's a good actor, definitely. But I didn't really care too much for the characters in there. As I said, I can't really say too much about how the movie starts and what happens to avoid spoilers. But yeah, for me, it was let down a little bit by the characters. There wasn't really any backstory of who they were, and you need that to care about the characters more. You're simply in this, just plopped into the action, and here you go. Which is fine for these types of movies. You're not expecting unbelievably good storylines with real in-depth character knowledge. And, you know, it's a fun movie, as I said, to see on the big screen, some great action scenes, but apart from that, not really much to say about the movie. You get what you expect. You get what you know is coming. So Monster Hunter, I will give this a 5 out of 10. So if you do go and see it, leave a comment below and tell me your thoughts on the movie. Next up, a movie I seen about 3-4 days ago is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. So, The Conjuring, directed by Michael Chavez, I think his name is. Again, starring Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga. So, The Conjuring tells the story of a true story, which was linked to a demonic possession. I read a little bit about the real story behind this, where, you know, again, don't want to give any spoilers, but you can read about the real story after you go and see the movie. But it's based on a real court case which did happen in real life. But when they say it's based on a true story, of course it's not based on a true story, because, you know, the devil and other supernatural fictional characters don't exist, so it's not based on a true story. But the actual basis of the court case and what happened in real life, the movie's based on that. But it continues these Conjuring movies, which I've seen a couple of them. I liked the first one, I thought it was pretty good. The other ones, you know, kind of dropped off a little bit for me. So going into this movie, I was not expecting much at all. I thought that, personally, I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga have probably run their course with these movies, but I thought, give it a chance. As I said before, I go and see 3-4 movies a week, so I thought, give it a chance. Most modern horror these days is a disappointment, in my opinion, and this certainly did disappoint. It was pretty poor in my eyes. The performances were a little bit flat. You did not really feel any empathy for the characters. There was maybe a handful of characters in this movie where you were thinking, why are they even in this movie? You know, some of them just appear, makes no sense while they're there. A couple of scenes were nice, you know, they were shot very well. The cinematography was really beautiful. There's a scene where Vera Farmiga's character is in the woods and she's there during the day, and it drops to night and she changes the scenery where she is. I thought that was done very well, but I'm really picking and really struggling to find good scenes in this movie. The jump scares were frankly quite embarrassing at times. You know, jump scares in the past, you think back to horror movies from the 70s and 80s and even the 90s, the jump scares were instant. You did not expect them at all. In these movies, the camera pans down a dark corridor or towards a door, you hear a creak, pan back to the main character or the character in scene, camera will pan back to the darkness, you'll hear another creak, it pans back, and then the jump scare happens. It's, for me personally, it's not showing really any respect to the viewer. Now, when I say viewer, and the cinema goer or the customer, I think these movies are truly aimed at maybe 13-14-year-olds who think everything is scary. A lot of the movie, there was not a lateral flow to the movie in my opinion. It was a little bit, here's a scary scene, you know, try and make it look as good as possible. Then it would just on to the next scene. You didn't really get an explanation about, you know, that demonic character, or, you know, why was that thing there? Why is it, you know, trying to possess this person? There was just no continuity about it. So yeah, I was really disappointed in this movie. My disappointment was even greater than the disappointment I was expecting. So, Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, I will score this a 3 out of 10. So, I do not recommend, unfortunately. So, last but not least, a movie I seen on Sunday evening was a new British horror movie called In the Earth. So In the Earth was directed by Ben Wheatley, having Joel Fry, Reese Shearsman and Hayley Squires. I hope I got her name correctly. It really tells the story of a scientist who goes to an area, we'll say like a sparse wooded area. This person is sent to, you know, a wooded area and deep forest to actually do some, you know, scientific tests. I thought this movie, the performances were pretty good. At first, for me, all of the characters were kind of acting a little bit strange, not their actual acting performances, just in the movie, the way the script was written was a little bit strange, the way they interacted with each other. But that doesn't take away from the movie. The characters, as they go on, you do start to care about them. The performances are good. For me, the standout part of this movie was the visuals and the sounds. Both of them were really good. Quite trippy, quite psychedelic at moments. So there is parts where you feel, when you're watching it, there is a lot of strobe lighting, a lot of trippy sounds and lighting, so you really do start to feel that you are getting immersed in the movie, which really helps with the storyline. So yeah, there's, you know, smaller budget movies can be hit or miss for me. As someone who has watched movies, you know, my whole life and who really enjoys horror and British horror movies, I was quite impressed by this. There was, you know, the actual story behind it is quite interesting, as you will see and as you will learn as the movie goes on. I thought it was a good movie, a good watch, quite trippy, quite, you know, it's got horror aspects, it's got sci-fi, it's got a little bit of thriller, a little bit of gore. So it really has quite a good number of aspects to keep you interested. It's all surrounded by beautiful, sparse nature, so it gives you a real good mix of modern day technology and, you know, human technology, along with nature and what nature means to everyone. You know, are we connected with nature? So really good, interesting story, good performances, and as I said, the standout parts of this movie for me really were the visuals and the sounds. I thought were really good, really fun. So In the Earth, I will give In the Earth a 7 out of 10. Okay everyone, so that's all the movies I've seen this week in the cinema. I'm sure I'll be back next week, depending on the releases. I'll give you my thoughts. So if you've seen any of the movies that I spoke about, please leave a comment and let me know what you thought about them, and also give the movies a score yourself. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye bye.